keep on top of these. And we're going to start with someone whose course I am really excited to see. So agrainger12, Alex Granger, I think. Um, for me, burst onto the scene when I was doing some reviewing, and I came across his first, I think, Playa Maravilla, and just really liked it. It was one of those fun ones that popped up in a queue, and you're not really expecting anything, and yet it was really good. And I think his subsequent courses have just gotten better and better and better. He was picked, I think, a little ahead of where others might have had him in this course contest. But there's so much good that I know Petty's seen and what he's done, and it's been really cool to watch his courses develop over this contest. Now, in terms of what he has suggested for his course, any further conditions? Oh, sorry, black tees, the tips. Any further conditions? Northwest wind, everything else default. Great. Any key design features? Optical tricks on this course, e.g. infinity green, deceptive bunker layering, etc. Sounds a lot of fun. Intended difficulty medium, so a lot of us are going for this, like the tougher CC elite. Any real life courses? Nope. Which three required elements? We've got a drivable par 4, which is the 15th, 3-shot par 5 is the 10th, and 5 par 3 holes. Excellent. So we've got a few things we're going to be looking out for as we go around. Now, wind speed, I'm just going to set to medium just because occasionally it goes super high and we don't want to see that. My game is not good enough anyway. We've got this sort of, cool misty coastal look, kind of very Cypress pointy, I think. So we'll see how this looks. Let's go with pin 3 today. So yeah, very much one I've been looking forward to. This is from Blue Team, so I think at this stage we've had a few more releases from Blue than we have Red, but we have 3 days left in the window, which means anything could happen. Straight away, you got to say this could match up really well for feel with Merced if they're not on. They're on the opposite side of the draft, but this is Granger. He did Playa Maravilla and was it Hyperion's Revenge and some others. But yeah, getting that exact same field, similar types of trees. Let's have a little zoom out and look around. Got some of the buildings as well. He hasn't done he really has done some stuff. And that's cool. That's some effort and attention to detail. Really like that. And there's a little cart path going across as well. That's very cool. And I think he's on PS4 as well, so this would have taken some time. Coastal Village. There are going to be some people who really appreciate this stuff. God, there's some proper attention to detail here. And I think we've gone Highlands, haven't we? Judging by the autogen sort of tree style and the land. It's very different to any Highlands course I've seen, which is fun. We've got some natural water in play. There's a little fountain. This is all pretty cool. What have we got? Okay, so we've used some of the tennis courts, because why not? Some little sunbeds, I guess. Or is it skateboard ramps? I'm not really sure. Something fun. There's some extras if you want to look for them, which I like a lot. Course itself, we've got some water, we've got some really big bunkers. Kind of going in lines. And it's a good looking plot. He's done quite a lot with it. Let's see how this goes. I'm excited for this. Yeah, I'm digging the look. Okay, so straight off the bat we've got kind of narrow, not a shallow green, but like wider than it is long, wider than it is deep at least. Definitely getting that deception bunkering with this. I can see what he's gone for. So at ground level it's going to look like it's pretty close to the front of the green. Bunkers look well sculpted. Yeah, maybe a little hard round here in terms of the raise, but it's pretty good. Right, let's hit a shot, shall we? 384. So we're probably ending up in pitch shot range if we do that. I think I'd rather have a full wedge in. But I like that then you've got this camber coming in if you want to go for... So it's kind of begging us to hit a pitch shot into this. Let's do that then. Might roll through. Okay, light rough's not too bad. Yeah, that's not something I'm aware of. Spline point work, there's a little bit here where it gets a tiny bit janky, like we could smooth that out a touch. I do really like this deceptive bunker. Kind of feel like if you've given us this sort of area, I'd almost wrap the fairway around a little bit more rather than going into the heavy rough, but I think that's stylistic choice. We do. It's definitely a very similar vibe, and I like it. I mean, the lighting's on point. It's really good. Oh, that's not a good shot. And we're making a mess of a relatively easy hole. Do you think green breaks here? We're kind of... this bit's a little low, like we've got that one bead that's going this way. I'm getting hyper nitpicky, but the more it can kind of be a consistent slope and funneling off maybe front here would make a bit more sense. Yeah, we're not going to have a chip in to start in the way that we did yesterday. I like the look back up to the clubhouse. I didn't really look at the clubhouse, but we can do that later. Good first hole. Like, there's a lot of strategy packed into a really simple hole, which I appreciate a hell of a lot. Yeah, same kind of thing. I think your spline work can be cleaned up a touch. You can see where we've got the tight turns. Feel like maybe we're not using enough spline points. Right. It's just making those slightly tighter corners than we would like. Par 5. Good little green. The bunker shapes I like. I don't think they're quite at, I mean, pretty much everyone's aren't, but they're not quite at the level of like a Fritch or a Dario in terms of those really smooth shapes. But they're doing the job you need them to. They're placed really well. I think that one up there is maybe a little bit big. I think I can see what you're going for, like the one bleeding into the other, and it looks like they're kind of... But this one's just taking up a bit too much room. I'd probably split it into two separate ones, or just make it a little smaller. I like the variety of pin positions you got on this green. We'll talk about a little bit of the... Oh, I thought I'd get a fast. Talk about a little bit of the green sculpting when we get up there. I like the water right. Might have liked you to bank the green a little bit more alongside it on this line, but I don't think you need to. It's more just like would have been an option. Kind of feel that if you've got water, try to use it as much as you can. Okay. So I said we'd talk about green sculpting. I think the main thing that is striking me here is your bunker is like a little bit higher than the green. We've got a slope funneling away from it, which I feel like this bit could make a bit more sense drop down a touch, because it would allow you to show more, not so much because of the green slopes, but I think it would allow you to show off this bunker a tiny bit more. It's good though, and again I like... Oh, so we're coming straight back to the clubhouse, are we? I like that. Like, as someone who doesn't tend to design in like one hole goes one way and then the next one comes straight back parallel, quite like it when it's done. It almost feels out of the usual. Oh, nearly got a chip in. That's a rubbish par. Really like your planting. I think that's just very good. This one looks great. Yep, I have not got a bad word to say about this, looks wise. I think what you've done particularly well that not a lot of people will give you credit for is you haven't just gone purple bush, purple bush, purple, green, etc. They're kind of blended in a bit more. Lighting definitely helps you out here. And yeah, the bridge placement is good. It's not... I picked up a couple of courses on this yesterday. It's not directly in front of your eye line. The tree line's really good. Like the little peaks and troughs in the tree line, and like not overplanting this bit so we can see. Is there a football field? No, I'm pretty certain we will only see one of those. Another slow. Still, I like that you've given me a little tier to. Oh, that's gotten closer than even I thought it would do. I do like that you give me a bit of a bailout area. This feels like a real birdie pin, even though it's tempting you to go straight at it with danger. If you play it smart, you're probably leaving a decent putt, albeit a fast one, down. Hmm. 179, so pretty quick greens. Can see how you'd get a lot of variety of pin positions there. Sunken trees are working really well with the lighting you've got. This is one of those courses that if we put it on clear, it would look totally different, and I'm really glad it isn't. We've got OB up this side. Yeah, okay. So here, given we've got the OB up this side, I'd kind of want this to be your line of where you really want people to go. And I don't think it quite is, because that's how the slopes work off. High noon and clear or bust. I mean, the look on this course is great. You've chosen the grass perfectly. Makes a lot of sense. The tee boxes work really well. I'm a big fan. I do think hazarding wise, I'd almost force people to play out here a bit more for more of a look into the green, and maybe bring, by not so much doing anything on the tee shot, but bring that bunker in more, angle the green so it's kind of facing directly this way. Whereas I think if you look at, if we're hitting from over here, we've still got a pretty good line to most of the pins. Our advantage is a little negligible. Oh, that was always going to happen. Huh. And we are not OB. Which I guess I'm happy about, but equally I think that's a missed opportunity. Hey, a Viking. If you're going to put OB there and make it look like it's OB, I think it's got to actually be there. I mean, granted, it's more annoying when it's the reverse and you think you're inbounds and you're actually out, but cool little mini infinity green. I know that's something you were trying to do. Tree lines wise, back here I'd kind of like to see a few more rises and falls. Like you got this high one here, then it's all just pretty straight line across, or relatively uniform. A bit more random would work well there. Now hopefully that hits that little slope and just finals on down. Yeah, fun slope. I've really liked the way you've laid these pins out, that you've just got a good little mix of slopes that hurt and help, and every time, I think every pin I've had something that I can use. Okay, so this is one where you're tempting us to carry for... There's a green. Okay. And you'll find some people struggling with this with the less, like the driver that carries slightly less far. Oh, that wasn't as good, but at least we got the angle. It is. This is agrainger, who did Playa Maravi. He's kind of coming in under the radar, even though, yeah, I think here again you can see that you've used the same tree at the same rotation and the same height, like with the I want to say elm or ash. I think it's an ash. Just sinking that down, varying it up a little bit, will do you a lot of good. Oh, Wes, I'm not disagreeing, but yeah, like this is gonna. I'm more saying this is gonna be really tough if you cannot make that carry. With that in mind, leaping out to the flyover, I think a hole like this works a little better when you can make that carry more of a diagonal. So if you're saying the angle gain gets better the further left you go, but you have to carry more the further left you go, rather than like almost every centimetre right you are worse off. So if you're really playing safe and laying back here, rather than this is kind of a little all or nothing. Like we either get there or we're there. You're probably not hitting in the middle because the bunker here might have allowed a little bit more fairway here to allow people to hit driver kind of lazy option, not taking on too much danger but not thinking. Hit driver down here, get screwed with a really bad angle, no chance of making birdie. Like, I quite like doing stuff like that. But the core of this is a really good hole and a really clear idea of how to... that's a bit too hard. That's a lot too hard. Whoops. Oh, I am smashing putts. I keep forgetting I'm on 179s on this course. That's a double out of absolutely nowhere. Whoops. It is a good concept. This is why you don't digress in the middle of playing a hole. Okay, central bunker here. Love the little tease of the ocean. Really like that. So we've got a choice of going left or right. This does look good. So right, I think, does give us a slightly better angle, but I don't know if it's... With this driver, I'm not sure it's doable. Rather, I'm not sure it's the best choice. Whereas if I go here, yeah, I think here is probably the play. But I like that you're giving me a choice rather than really forcing it. And I like that you've... damn. Yeah, it is much better from the right, but I'm just not sure. I don't back myself to hold that fairway. And now I'm on a little bit of a camber, which, if I'm honest... skip out. Try and work out if I like the camber or not. I feel like I might have flattened that so it's a bit more of a... I feel like I'm just on a camber because I'm close to where you've sculpted the bunker up, rather than the camber being part of the natural land. But I'm nitpicking big time there. Which I guess is what we're here for. But yeah, you can see how it's kind of softening out there because of where it's coming from the bunker. Huh, and another slow. But I like this. I mean, the way you've done this is not that we are... Yeah, I agree. What I like, though, is by making this tough, you're just making it tough to get close and make birdie from that side. It's not like you're making it a bogey opportunity. It should still be a relatively... I mean, it won't be with me putting, but it should be a relatively straightforward par. Oh, no. Wrong button. We don't really want to see a lag putt. I mean, again, the planting is just really good. Let's try and take the flag out. See, aside from that abomination... Ooh, this looks lovely. I feel this green's a bit big. Generally, I kind of feel like the green sizes are a touch on the large side. Like, not by much, but just a little. Transition could be cleaned up. And again, I think the spline work is kind of why you're seeing this, the fringe just slightly bigger. It's to do with how neat your splining is. So I think the more you're placing points equidistant, that'll clean up the fact that like it's really narrow here and really wide here. It's a great look. He's getting a lot better. Right, I'm hoping a fast into that slope will just funnel me down nicely. Nah, a little bit too long. Ben bingo. Excellent. I promise I won't look. It's fine. This is good. I'm uh, having said I really liked the way you didn't do the purple bushes evenly spaced earlier. I kind of think you've done it a bit here. Same with the white flowers. Clumping would look a little neater. This is cool though. I don't know what you put in this tree. Like melons? Funky. Yeah, I say the same stuff over and over again. People do the same stuff. So again, angles wise, kind of feel like I'd have liked it if you'd made me challenge the water a little bit more. Buddy, that's the sort of thing we want. The more we go, in terms of what I would do, probably make it so that the further you play to the water here, the less you're taking it on the second shot somehow, which gets, I guess, a bit tricky. Probably put a bunker short right would make this a lot easier. So the more you're playing over the bunker here, because what's our bigger hazard? Our bigger hazard is water. We definitely don't want to be challenging that. So therefore, if we're putting our tee shot as close to the water as we can and take on the biggest risk, we should get the biggest reward. Kind of feel like this tee shot, you really just wanted to play pretty safe, like down the middle, which is fine. But I think we can do a little more. Planting is great. Still can't make a putt. I'll look at it at the end. We'll see how we've done. Straight into the light. What's the house for? Oh, is that our... Oh, we're back to clubhouse. Cool. Okay, come back to green slopes in a minute. So same sort of thing as that fourth, I want to say. The more, and this one's actually done nicer because it is on the diagonal, so the more we carry left, the better angle we get into the green. This is what I wish you'd have done a little bit more earlier. Oh, and we can clear that pretty easily. Yeah, same thing with the spline points. Yeah, it is. It is a touch. Green slopes wise, I think it goes from very hard red slope here to very flat pretty quickly. Smoothing that out by just raising at the bottom or flattening with the fuzzy brush would, so that we've got a gentler transition in from very steep red to very flat green, will make the world of difference. Otherwise, really like the green slopes. I like the fact that you've nicely taken out the middle of the green, but there's like different ways of doing that. Bunker here is really nicely done. Yeah, needed to be fast, and we're good. Not been a great 9 holes, even though I completely agree with your assessment. I think it's definitely medium CC, very much CC appropriate. I'm enjoying this a lot. Second centerline bunker, also on a par 5. Bunkering up near the green looks great. And this one's more kind of guarding you, cutting the corner a bit more, rather than necessarily playing for angle, I think. Yeah. Oh, and we can carry it. Unintentional, but... And this is our 3-shot par 5, isn't it? I do remember that. Which... I guess if you were downwind, I think you can probably get near. I would have liked to have seen a bit more of a layup option, other than just drop back down the fairway to a certain point where you feel comfortable. I don't know, maybe if we could have given a bit more fairway around about here, or wrap it around, because for me a 3-shot par 5 is all about making the second shot interesting, and if we're just hitting a 3-wood as far up the fairway as we can, I think we can make it a bit more strategically interesting, like give me an angle here that benefits one pin compared to an angle up here that maybe benefits another, tie it into different green slopes, etc. Looks really, really good though. You've nailed the way these bunkers are layered. I like it a lot. But I think that is going to be the play pretty much every time, which is just kind of a default for 3-wood. Although I guess we've got that spine. I don't know. I need to play a few more pins on this. I do like that you've really ramped up the difficulty near these pins though, and made them like we've got our yellows and greens. Oh yeah, that will come up all the time. In British. Slippery little part, that one. Oh, I was sure that was him. Little bit of a Redan, I guess. Again, layering's really, really good. I love how you've blocked off with planting either side. Just this is a masterclass in framing this hole in terms of how it's drawing your eye. So high to low here, perfect. Blocking your eye off from the stuff you didn't want to see over here. Great grasses, again just meaning the bunker's poking up above it. Also framing, yeah. There's too many. Did you have Matty gets a timeout on that? Oh shit, it's still on the green. Okay. I mean, we could chip this, but where's the fun? I can say I felt like that was good at the start, and now I feel it's gone way past. Not too bad. Ah, nearly. I mean, you had a 4-putt earlier. This is nothing. Planting wise, I think you could have done with these bushes being a little lower down and a little bit smaller near the top. I completely understand for meter reasons you want to make them giant, but when you actually see them looking giant, it doesn't look as good. Do you like this green though? That's not great. We'll be alright. Is this out of bounds still? No, okay. Probably get away with a sandwich. Absolutely no idea. I didn't mention cliffside other than talking about the planting. Screw you, Wes. Okay, so here we see like the effort you've gone to on the mountains over there really paying dividends. I like that a lot. I know, he's putting a ton of effort over there. I think fairway hasting could be maybe a touch more interesting. Other than the central bunker holes, it's basically if you hit down the middle of the fairway, you're fine. Which I guess is probably what we're going for. I love the little layering with the par 3 behind this. Bunker layering again is good. I think for what you... Oh, that was not a good shot. I think for what you've tried to do with your visual stuff, it's worked really well. Yeah, it's not staying up. That's a nasty little pin on tiny deer. I'm enjoying this a lot. Yeah, similar comments with the planting, I think. You can see kind of when you're zooming around there's a little lack of depth, which I understand. I mean, we're fighting meter and most people won't see it, but when you see that it's just very thick there and not really here, I think we can do a little more. Tiny hut back there, or washroom back there is fun. Couple of little tiers that add interest, which I like. Be a little bit more. And back we go. Whatever gets you guys through the day. Excellent place for a drivable 4. Cliffside planting here has done a lot better, although, I mean, it could always just be the lighting, but I think it's done really nicely. Not sure I'm ever holding that top tier, but I think we've got to go for it anyway. I mean, I've already sort of landed in out of bounds and been okay, so let's try again. Did we need a partial? Oh, light rough is perfect. That's probably the best eagle chance I'm going to get on this pin. Yeah, I like the partial. And I love how this little village down here comes into play now. Like, for all that effort for one little view there, time well spent. There's your chip in. No, I do not want to become famous. Big fan of the crescendo with the cliffside holes on the back 9. That's working well. I think a common feature for me is the green slopes. I'm enjoying them, I'm just not sure how much they tie in with the rest of the hole. If we're thinking about you're probably wanting me to play closer to the cliff or closer to the bunker, either or, I don't really mind, or just hit this gap, and if I lay up, it's just a little bit longer. Kind of feel like this is going to allow me to just hit middle of the green and funnel down anyway. I don't really think wherever I end up off the tee, fame is overrated. Makes that much of a difference. Oh, wind hit. Go on, hit it. Nope. I mean, bunker sculpting has been good. Great look here. Skyline green's lovely. Done really well. Oh, that's a dreadful shot. Hmm. Like I say, I think the slopes have interest. I'm just not convinced they totally complement the rest of the hole. It is a great look. Nearly. Oh, cool. I will have a check in a second. Let's have a little look for you now, Dan. Well, yeah, same thing. Like a little bit of transition stuff. Bunker shapes I feel have gotten better as they've gone on. I'd probably like this one to be a bit smoother at the bottom, but the top edge of it is lovely. I love the way you've done planting, and yeah, we could have used some grass around this one. I think that's just a missed spot given you've used it everywhere else. Looks great off the tee. Sightline through to the next is perfect. This one has a lot to like. Oh, go and roll up. Well, good news, Pithy, is we've got another couple, and I think Matty has put together a fun little game. Kota Batu is next, I think. It's that or the bear one. Ooh, whoops. Okay, and then we go to 18. So you've already made life, I guess, a little tricky for yourself, and the 18's going away from the sun. Yeah, I'm not. I'm deliberately setting all of the winds off very high. I don't really fancy that. I like this. I feel like you've done better or more dramatic greenside bunkering before. I think it's a solid finisher. I don't think it's quite the showstopper I'd love it to be. With so much of this, and I guess part of that is also we've come off a ridiculously good stretch of coastal holes, followed by that really nice par 3. I guess it's always going to be difficult to top that, especially with the lighting that you had to work with. But yeah, I do feel we could have had maybe a little bit more drama on that one. Playability wise, it's tough enough for sure. And we're probably going to make a. Well, definitely make a bogey. And there we go. So 2 overs, not given how we were swinging, it's not too bad. There's loads I liked on that. I mean, if you look at the screenshot, that's definitely the highlight. The coastal holes, I thought you did really well, and I like that it worked up to them, and I don't think we saw them until 10, I want to say. Is it that second par 5? And I think it had that great crescendo in the back nine. So 14, 15, 16 were all big oceanside holes, and that worked really well. I think your backdrop the extras you put in on there, you've taken a lot of time. The planting's really good all the way through. Some of the framing was just exceptional. Certainly on the par 3s, I think were really strong. I do feel the green sizes and green contouring would be something I'd have a little look at. I think greens would not an issue. I think they were a little on the big side, but I don't think it affected it, and it definitely meant that you could hit green and reg. And the slopes it allowed you to put on there were good. Like, we had some bold slopes. I think fairway hazarding might be something I'd try to take up a notch as well, just in terms of a couple of the option holes were just you either can carry this bunker or you can't. Just working with the better holes I thought were working with camber and subtlety and things like that. So like your first hole where there was that little bit of a swale, if you drop down to 3-wood, I thought was really nice. Stuff like that I'd like to see a little bit more of. But yeah, really, really solid entry and just a great look. Very, very similar to the Merced look. So that could be a lot of fun. So I'm going to cut the stream and then we'll be back in a second with Kota Batu. Yeah, see you in one second.